Well, good morning. I just messed up royally for the last 5 minutes. Isn't that wonderful? I tried to schedule everything, and dummy me, I forgot to go live on the actual website for live streaming on YouTube. So here I was yakking for the last 5 minutes. So my apologies for you not seeing what's going on. So let me recap, switch back to the workbench and show you some of the things that I cut yesterday. And yeah, embarrassed. So let me get my thoughts back again. Okay, so I cut all this yesterday. Some of it was live on yesterday's stream. And then later on in the morning, I joined a stream of a bunch of creators and scrollers and knitters and crocheters, and it was kind of neat that as I was actually doing the cutting, rather than just listening to music through my headsets, through my earbuds, I was able to cut these out, listening to folk, having conversations. After I get a cut done, I would stop, switch cameras over, and be able to have conversations. So it was really nice that I didn't feel like I was alone. So that was something that I really liked, and probably I probably talked a little bit too much once I stopped scrolling. So sorry, John. That was me doing that, talking too much, get a little bit gregarious. But anyway, I just wanted to check my screen over here, so I'll probably stop talking once in a while. But here's some of the cutouts here. The pigs out of cedar, elephants out of lacewood, which is really nice. Here you can see the different patterns there. Hopefully my camera adapter will come in today, and I'm going to have better video on this side of the workbench. So here is the alligator out of Wenge, the hippo, one of them out of Purple Heart, which is very hard, giraffe out of Bloodwood, and the same thing, I only cut one out, and same thing with the Mr. Lion here out of Yellow Heart. Unlike these, which are a softer, and I use that loosely, softer wood, these I can double stack. I can stack cut them, as I showed you that we're going to do with the giraffe. Here is bird's eye maple, which is Mr. Noah, and then some walnut for the horses. And there you go. That's what we got. Let me switch back over to the other camera, and we'll stay here most of the time, but I will, I think I'm gonna just look at this here and see what's happening. Okay, I think I am streaming, so, oh, are you kidding me? I think I messed up again. Do I have a stream? I don't know. You know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to check and see what is going on my channel, if I actually have a live stream going on. I guess it says that I'm live, so let me double check here. Things may slow down. And let's see what is going on my channel, if I actually have. Okay, yep, I guess I am live, so that is a good thing. All right, so let's do this. Let me start out. I'm going to turn on the vacuum cleaner and the vacuum sucker and everything like that. But what I will do is I will kill the audio so you don't have to hear it. You'll just see. But when I go to some of the single cuts, I may keep it on so with the vacuum not on. But let's see how this stack cut goes. And I'm going to turn on the vacuum and turn off the mic pack. So we'll be back in a moment.
hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world, but keep the sky on your mind.
Back. Let me switch screens here, and I can see that things are supposed to be going on. But anyway, let me go back and see what's going on, get my hearing protection off. So let me get him out of here. There we go. And this is canary wood, which I actually really like, because it is a, let me zoom out a little bit here. There we go. It is a oily wood, and there we go. And being that it's an oily wood, it kind of helps lubricate the blade. So I was actually able to do some sharper turns. Now, this particular blade is a number 10, which is a very thick blade, so it doesn't like to do corners very well. And you would have noticed, let's see, yeah. So when I got to, let me put them back in here so you can see what I did. So you'll notice that when I got to his ear, I was trying to make that sharp turn that also went inside. Let me get my pointer. And I was having trouble making that turn. No big deal because I was in the scrap area, but what you would have seen me do is move back and forth a number of times and create this little void here in the waist area. So this is called scrap or waist area, as you can see. This is what gets cut away. But what I did is I nibble out when because the blade was too thick for that turn. I nibble out so then I can just stop the blade and then back in, and then I can start at the more, I guess it would be an obtuse angle, which was more, let's see if I can raise this up. I'll exaggerate a little bit like that versus, say, these here, which are smoother. Now, even though this was obtuse, it wasn't as sharp as this turn here. Now, the other thing that you would have noticed when I was on the finishing cut, when I actually brought this little spiky thing, and this thing's probably older than I am, when I got to the final cut, because I was so close to the edge here, the pattern started lifting up. So depending on how it happens, sometimes I'll put my finger behind the blade, so I would be here, but I've got my vacuum in the way. But let's say behind the blade, I would be here, and the blade would be here, and that would hold the pattern down. But in this case, it was coming off in the front, so I just needed to keep it down long enough so that I could visualize where that final cut was going to go, because this kept lifting up. I was afraid it would lift up there and I would be off. Now, as long as I'm off in the waist area, that's okay. It's no big deal. I can live with that. That's why you'll notice I mainly cut with the waist area to the right of my blade, just because of the way the blade moves and flexes and, just all those things. So let's move on and let's see what happens when I move over to the hippo, which is the Purple Heart. A Purple Heart is really hard. I think in the Janka world, let me get my phone here. I know it's near 2,000. I just don't remember if it is 2,500. Oh, let's see. There we go. So what did I say? Purple Heart. Oh, they got Bolivian rosewood now. Lacewood, mahogany. There we go. Purple Heart. Purple Heart is 2,520. That's really hard. Now, one of the issues when you're cutting the Purple Heart is the scorching. The edges will turn black, and I don't think I have any examples on this. Actually, I do. This is from a previous cut, so let's see if I can get some light on it. And yeah, there you go. So if you look, you can see the darkening in certain areas. When I did this, oh gosh, this is probably in the spring. Even though it's a relatively straight, I was using the wrong blade, so it caused issues. Now I did very well using the number 10 with this hippo, so you can see the one that I cut out, and you don't see any scorching in there. So let's hope that I can do the same thing. But if you listen, you can hear how hard that is, and even the weight, you can feel the heft. And when I go to the bloodwood, which I think is closer to 2,800 or 2,900, you'll see the difference. But now what I'm going to do is figure out where I want to start my cut. But let me check to see if there's anybody in the chat. I do not see anybody in the chat, so I'll just switch back to this to make sure I can mute things as needed, and we will go from there. So let me get my hearing protection, and with this I do want the vacuum because this is because it's so heavy, you'll see chunks coming off. So one of the first things you'll see me fiddle around with is my top vac, and this has suction to it. And I do have a bottom vac, and I don't know if you can see it. Probably not, it's in the shade. But right here is a blast gate, so you can just see the top of the handle. And what I do is I actually throttle the bottom and the top. So just this one valve, this one blast gate, as I open it all the way up, they'll be pretty much even in the vacuum. But what does happen sometimes is if you cover up all the vents, the suction is so great that, especially with thinner, lighter wood, it's harder to move. So in this case, I don't want to worry about it. So you'll see me once in a while, my handle drop down, and I'll be tapping that closed to adjust the volume. Now I always want to have the volume of air that's moving. I do want to have a little bit of vacuum coming from the bottom, or otherwise it winds up on my lap or on, yeah, let me see here. You can see from when I wasn't using it, it piles up on some of my controls underneath. So looking at this, I'm trying to figure where I want to start. So, you know, you'll see when I start, you'll see me just spinning it around. The first thing I'm doing is I'm looking at how I want to cut and where I want to start and everything, and where I want to finish. So I'm actually thinking of doing this. Because this is a hardwood, I want to minimize useless travel, useless cutting. So if I started, let me get my pointer here. So if, let's say, for example, I started here and boom, that's a long distance. Or let's say that this was solid wood, and I said, well, I'm going to start here, and that's all wasted cutting that for this type of hardwood really counts, because it dulls the blade somewhat quickly. So I want to be careful not to dull the blade. So I think we are about ready. Let me check. Why is that not going away? Let's see. There we go. Okay. Yep. I don't see anybody on. That's all right. And hopefully everything is working. That's always the nervous thing about this, is seeing if everything is working. So let me grab my mic pack, get my hearing protection on, and we're going to get the vacuum running and go from there. audio. And see what we've got here. And all right. Yeah. Okay. So let me get the blade out here so you can hear. One of the things we do to make sure when we tension a blade, that's this knob up here. Let me zoom out just a little bit. There we go. Yeah. So this is my my tensioning lever. So you'll see me fiddle underneath here with a bottom chuck. It looks a lot like this, upside down. And then I get it a certain way. Then I'll pull this back, and see if we can get some sound here. You can hear a note, and then also the minimal amount of side travel. So that's how we do it. So let me look here, and then I will show you. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so that's the cut, and if you look in, you don't see any scorching. So let's do this. Probably easier to see here. Let's get it under the light. Excuse me. One of the other reasons why I use that top vac, of course, is to minimize the dust. But some of these woods, when you cut it, are very, very toxic. They're not good for the lungs. So I'm able to get most of the dust away, pretty much all of it, away using the top vac. You'll see in some of my other videos when I don't use it, there's a whole pile of sawdust there. Let me find my other, here we go. So I cut these out separately. Let's see how I did. So one of the things I try to do is stay, as I say, true to the lines. And after I cut different pieces, I find one place to index it and then feel. And if you look, you would almost think, just such a little bit here, you would think that I actually stack cut this. And that's one of the things that I try to do, is stay as true to the lines as possible. Now, part of selecting wood is also the pattern that you're going to use. Now, in this case, knowing that Purple Heart is very hard and you want to minimize the sharp turns, that's why I chose the hippo pattern. So I was able to get a very accurate cut. Now, when I've said this before, when I do puzzles, this isn't a puzzle, but let's say, yeah, I'll do that. So let's say that I wasn't true to the lines and I was doing a puzzle out of multi-species. This is what would happen. And then what you would have to do is go back and figure out, oh, how can I make it fit like this? And it becomes very difficult. By staying true to the lines, you look at it here, if this was a puzzle, it would be exact, and then this little knobby thing here and the nose and everything like that would fit in. And if you go to my website, you'll see some of the pictures of some of the puzzles I do, in particular the multi-species, and see how they all fit with very little adjustment. All right, let's move on here, and let's take a look at the time. Okay, 39 minutes, not too bad. And let me check the chat. I don't see anybody in chat. And let's just say lion. Hopefully that'll come up. I want to check a few things. We'll bring that back down. And yes, let's see how we're going to do the lion. I will probably start here so that I finish with a very slight turn. So I'll start with a slight turn. And a lot of times when I try and do pieces or my starts and finishes just in area that's either A, easy to sand, or B, it's at a joint where you don't have to worry about sanding. So, let's see. You know, I think it's almost time for new headphones. These puppies have been beat up, so these are actually shooters. I'm going to try and use my earbuds, which are noise canceling, be a little bit easier than taking these things on and off. So let me get ready, get that mic pack out of my pocket, and we will go to no audio so you can see the cuts. Okay, here we go. There we go. We have Mr. Lion already there. Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit and get Mr. Lion out of his cage. So there's the two cuts there. Let me go find Mr. Lion over here on the workbench. Or actually, it should be Mr. and Mrs. Lion. And same thing, I lined up the top, and it was actually very nice, smooth. Just such a slight edge there, not even a fingernail. Yeah, so yeah, not even a fingernail difference, which is nice. And yeah, so there you go. You got the pair of lions that are all set there. And I think that will probably do it for today. Let's switch back over to the workbench and see what we got. You know, we did a few cuts today. I've got a couple more to go. Let me put that in my junk box here. I've got, just another alligator and the, oh gosh, that is such heavy wood. Oh, I can feel the difference. Holy cow. Yeah, Mr. Giraffe there is bloodwood. Yeah, blood, sweat, and tears, that's for sure. But yeah, there we go. I think this is a good start for today. If there's a live show, John puts on his live show today, I'll join him and be able to finish up some stuff. The next phase that's actually going to happen, and maybe I'm not sure if I'm going to live stream it or not on my channel, because I usually only do it on the weekends, but I am on holiday, on my holiday leave for the next 2 weeks. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but once I get these two, then comes the actual arc itself. And now the cuts on that are really easy, somewhat. A lot of straight cuts, and I'm not stack cutting, and I've got to get identical. For example, the left and right side of the boat, top and bottom and everything. So everything's going to fit together, which is very important. So let's see if I can lean over here. Hold on for a second. I'll show you what I did yesterday on the live show. These are not glued in, so let me just put them so I can sit down again on my workbench chair. Okay. Yeah, so did a couple quick wooden toys, and these are just dry fit right now, and of course I have to profile the edges because I like to have nice smooth edges for the little kids. And then I've got another one of these cars, and these are the toys that I give away for the charity. Excuse me, I'm going to cough again. So this I'll round off the back here. I usually do this a little bit longer, but the way that I cut the wood is like that on one piece. I'm trying to maximize each board that I cut. And normally I would stack cut this, but decided not to in this particular case. Now upcoming, oh, this is a heavy piece of wood. Upcoming, if I can get this in focus, is I have a whale with a heart and a horse, and these will be wheeled vehicles. And then a different whale with a heart and a boat. These are all prototype for the giveaway toys, and hopefully I will be, with these here, giving them away to a police department. I know a sergeant in a police department in Massachusetts, and I had just solicited him, for lack of a better term, if he'd like a few toys that some of the police officers can keep on them, and build some relationships as need be with unique gifts. But we'll see how that goes. And there you go. I think that pretty much covers everything today. And hopefully you enjoyed what you saw today. And if you're listening to this, well, actually, you're already going to know. If you're listening to this, once this video processes for non-live, everything that I did not have audio in, I'm going to dub in some music, so you can watch and at least listen to some music there. So there you go. Well, we're coming to the Christmas season. I hope everybody remembers the reason for the season. So may the Lord richly bless you and make it a great day right here at Poppy's Workshop.